there hasn't been another ingot found like that in England. It is in the report it stated that this ingot is the second largest ingot found in UK's history. It's been reported to the database.
Wow, incredible. That's insane.
I can't. Yeah. And I was going to say, you made a snow angel on the first. I can just only imagine dancing around the fields.
Yeah, I really just kind of turned into a puddle. I mean, I was, it's just a big blur, really, Amanda. It was so much adrenaline. I was kind of, I was by myself when I found it. I was the only person in that field. There's probably a 600-acre field. It's massive. I was the only one in it, and but everyone has walkie-talkies. So I immediately called Ron on the radio. I said, "Man, you got to get over here, like right now." He's like, "What do you got?" And I go, "I don't know." I was stumbling for my words, and he comes back on the radio. He goes, "Well, is it Roman?" And I said, "I don't know." He goes, "Is it Celtic?" I said, "I don't know." He goes, "What do you mean you don't know?" I said, "Just get your tail over here. Come on." So about that time, he was driving down the road in the van. He pulled over, and he walked up and immediately said, "Holy, beep, beep, beep. That's a gold ingot. That's a gold ingot." I was like, wow. And right then and there, that's when the stomach punch came. I was just, it's a what? It's a what?
Oh my.
Yeah, and then like I said, it was just kind of a blur. We did a little bit of video and some photographs, and Ron was actually leaving to go get the van cleaned. So he says, "I gotta go. Good luck. Go find another one." I said, "Yeah, right." So him and Mike, the guy who was with him, they walked back to the van, and I pulled my stuff together. I had stuff laying all over the field, so I put all my stuff back on, and I took about 4 steps and about 5 swings, and I got another really good signal, but it was a nice, clean 19, rock solid, steady signal. I thought for sure it was going to be a coin. And I'm like, "Oh, there's a good signal right here." I said, "I'm digging this one up for sure. It's right next to the gold." I stuck the shovel in the ground, and I just kind of kicked the back of the shovel, and I could see it in the air, flipping in the air with an ancient gold hoop. And landed right on top of the dirt pile. I was like, "What? What is going on? No way! This is not happening. What's going on?" So yeah, I was freaking out. I turned around. I'm screaming at the van going down the street, and I said, got on the radio, go, "Ron, stop!" So he ended up coming back over there, and they did some more videoing, and so that was the last day. That was the last day of my trip, and before you know, there's like 5 more. Everyone came over there, and we all tried, finding some more. Hopefully, maybe like a hoard.
Find more gold.
Yeah, hopefully it's gonna be a hoard or something. There's 2 pieces of really big pieces of gold just laying side by side. What's going on here? And so we all went in there and just cranked our detectors up to max and kind of went after it, and nothing. I don't even know if any other non-ferrous objects were even dug, but no more gold. So that's how I got to go home. I mean, it didn't get to go detective the next day. It was just the next day I was on a plane flying home. It's kind of weird.
Now, for those listening that might not be in chat, because I know they've talked a little bit about the flow in chat. Now, how'd you go about reporting it and like that type of thing?
Okay, so all my trips have been through the Colchester Metal Detecting Holidays, I believe is what it's called. If you Google metal detecting Colchester, you'll find their website. So the owner of the club, Chris, he acts as basically the middleman between you and the museum. So the flow works for the museum, and So Chris, if you find treasure, he immediately takes it from you, photographs it, and sends pictures to the flow immediately. That way, everything is above table with him. That's why when you go on those trips, you're not allowed to bring anything back. So even things that are newer than 300 years old, technically you could probably bring those home. But Chris, he just to keep everything above the table at the museum, he takes everything from you, photographs every single thing, and shows everything to the museum, and they disclaim or claim or whatever they're going to do. But so he basically is the middleman between me and the flow. So he handles all that for you.
Oh, that's great. And you don't have to deal with the stress of it.
Very cool.
Right.
So,
right. Go ahead.
I was just going to ask, is this with Chris with Metal Detecting Holidays? Is that what you go on that tour,
No,
or is this another one?
No, this is
Okay.
a different Chris, different tour.
Okay.
I think that Metal Detecting Holidays, I think they're farther north, I believe. I don't
Okay.
really know. I think I looked it up once, but yeah. So when in 2018, when my buddy Jeff wanted to go, I said, all right, man, if you want to go, you set it all up. I don't know anything about it. I really don't even want to go. So whatever you pick, that's what we get. So that's who he found online. That's who he booked it with. So that's who I went with, and that's who I've always went back to.
Understandable. I'd definitely go back too with that group. They seem to be putting you on some pretty amazing grounds.
Yeah, it's
Definitely.
been yep. So that was 2018, and then I had that trip booked for 2019. So I went back in the fall of 2019 in September, and I was actually in England for my birthday. And I think it was like my third day of a 14-day trip or something. We had went to this huge farm. This farmer has lots and lots of fields. They're not all really, really big. He has a lot of fields. So we were basically went field hopping, just kind of zigzagging around all over the place. And I found a field that was tilled. It was kind of loose dirt. It was real easy swinging, flat, and that one looks good. So I went in there and I went willy-nilly. I found some bunch of garbage, really. I think I found maybe one button. And then I got a little blip on my, I think I was running to my Equinox, and I get this little blip, and I dig it up, and as soon as I flip the dirt over, I can see the edge of another little tiny gold coin. I was like, that is another quarter stater. No way. No
Was this
way.
anywhere near some of the same fields that you were in the previous time, or not?
No. Funny thing was this farm that I was at, the clubs had permission to detect this farm. They've been under contract with this guy for quite a while, quite a few years. And there's certain club members, I guess, who really don't like going to this guy's farm because they've never really had something great come off of it, So they just kind of don't really care to go there. And in particular, the field that I found it in, virtually no one ever hunts that field because nothing has ever come out of it. It's always been like a dead zone where nothing good has ever come up. And I didn't know that. I just wandered into it because it was flat and an easy swing, and I knew it was going to be easy digging. And quarter stater, bam. So my guide, Mindy, she wasn't that far away. I said, hey, Mindy, I got another quarter stater. She goes, oh, my God, I'll be right there. She starts kind of walking towards me, but she's swinging her detector as she's walking, and she's walking fast. She goes, oh, hang on a minute, let me dig this up. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I grabbed my camera, I started doing some filming. And next thing I know, she's screaming, and I look over, and she's laying on the ground, rolling around, hooting and hollering. I'm going, what? Oh, my gosh, she found one, too. I said, we're on a horse. I thought she did. So I walked over there and I go, "What'd you say?" Because she's screaming and she was squealing. I couldn't even understand what she was saying. I'm like, "What did you say?" She goes, "I found my first skeet." She found a Saxon skeet as she was walking over to look at my Celtic quarter stater.
Oh, my. Wow.
I was like, wow. Talk about action-packed. I mean, it was a pretty quiet morning, and all of a sudden it was just bam, bam. Right?
Wow.
Yeah, so that was pretty fun. So, yeah, that was in 2019. And then I had a trip booked for 2020, and then obviously everything in 2020 was canceled. So everything ended up getting pushed back until this year, so 2022. And that was I guess it's 2 months ago now, but that was October. I went back with Dave Rose, who's in the chat, my buddy Jeff from Wisconsin, Deej, Digging with Deej, Don from Detection Connection, and my buddy John from BTV Digger on YouTube. So we all booked this trip together, and we went over in October. And it's probably like day 4, I think, on the trip. And went to this field. It's called the Orchard Field. It's just a nickname, but some people started finding some cool stuff. John found a silver love token. Another guy found a Roman silver. I found a great big Roman bronze coin, Roman sestertius from the 1st century. So I was really excited. I'm like, man, that is so cool. I think that's probably going to be the find of the trip is going to be this massive Roman bronze, and it's actually in really pretty decent shape for a Roman bronze, especially a 1st century one. So I was really happy. And then some other cool stuff was just coming up on the field had potatoes in it that season. So when they plow for the potatoes, they plow deep. So we know we were on a deep plow, and we're just thinking, they must have got down deeper and got down into a layer and kicked up some good stuff. But yeah, there was good stuff. Everyone was on the radio all morning long, and it's a pretty good sized field. And I was kind of going along, and all I was trying to do was avoid the footprints in the dirt. And I was walking along. I said, I'm walking on someone's footprints here. I got to get to my left a little bit. So I just kind of took a step to my left. It took about, 7 or 8 more paces, and I got another little blip, and it was a 6 on my Equinox. And I said, well, whatever that is really shallow. So I grabbed my pinpointer and turned it on, and I raked it around in the dirt a little bit. And as I was raking the dirt around, I could see the edge of a gold ring sitting there. I was like, oh. You got to be kidding me.
Oh, jeez.
So, yeah, I was. Yeah, and it was very pretty. They're calling it.
If we ever go, we're going with Tim.
I saw the pictures.
The
pictures of it are amazing. I was going to say, have you thought about changing your name to Tim Gold Digger?
Yeah, so no, I haven't actually. But I had a good year for gold because, like I said earlier in the show, I got to go up to Nome and look for gold nuggets when I was up there, and I actually found some. And I actually found the biggest one out of our group. I was up there with I think there's 19 of us. I think KG and Riggy were along. Mark Hoover was along. Chicago Ron. Yeah. Yep. John the Crazy Spider was along.
Yeah.
Bunch of good guys. Great group of people. We all went up there, and we got down there that first afternoon, and Augie, the owner, was down there on his rubber tire loader. He's pushing some old tailing piles, from the turn of the century, probably from 1910. 1930s, probably right up into the Depression era until everything got shut down up there. And he was just down there knocking these piles down, and KG and Ringy were down there with those new Axioms. And